Rapid Solicitors, sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports. Accident compensation and medical negligence claims.
We're back in Cardiff and at the Big Blue Tent, home of the Cardiff Devils, and tonight we'll see how the Welsh side cope in their fourth game in 6 days. And with the Sheffield Steelers in town, things could get a little feisty. Hello and welcome to the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League highlight show. It's the Devils and the Steelers that the fans have turned out for here tonight. Two teams with great rivalry in recent years. As well as the highlights of the game here, we'll have all the rest of the action from a busy weekend in the Elite League. We'll be bringing you right up to date with all the latest news from around the teams, and we pay a special visit to a Devil on the mend. So with all that and Dave Simms, we really do spoil you. But before we hear from Simsy, time now to get some action. And as I've already mentioned, the Cardiff Devils are playing their fourth game in 6 days following a triple header weekend up in Scotland, where they were joined by a bunch of travelling Devils fans who certainly enjoyed what they saw. Here's Chris Ellis.
The start of a 3-day Scottish tour for the Cardiff Devils, also taking in Fife and Edinburgh. It began in Dundee, and in the first session, coming forward, Phil Hill away from his marker and behind the net. But the Stars can't clear, and Hill pops out from behind the net for the first of the night. He seems to score every week at the moment in a rich vein of form. Is Phil Hill, and 10:23 gone. He has the visitors on the board and in the lead. Now scrambled in front of the net, not dealt with by Cardiff, and it's a goal. Dolan to the rebound. 21:04, so 64 seconds into the second session. Dundee draw level. It's 1-1 game and game alive, but more action in the second session, and that is great work from McRae. Rebound, Hill involved as well, and Pearce, and McRae follows up. The 13th of the season, 24-55, so we didn't stay level for long, did we? It's now 2-1 to the Cardiff Devils. Now they're coming forward again. Pearce involved once more. Hill's shot and the rebound for Smith. So it's 3-1, and we see the Cardiff Devils go 3-1 ahead, and Phil Hill has a hand in all 3 goals. 1+2. A wraparound chance there for Scott Masker. He's denied at the other end. Gerard Adams comes away from Hutchins. That one's loose, and somehow it goes into the back of the net, but it's going to be chalked off. So we stay at 3-1. Now all sorts going on the boards. A bit of a tangle there between Mitchell and Richardson. All sorts going on trying to get towards the Cardiff goal, and then Wissard and Richardson, well, they have a few words. More players getting involved, just talking, but then from out of nowhere, Chris Frank joins the party. Gets quite feisty then, more punches being thrown, and Frank was to go to the penalty box. Another 10-minute misconduct. He's run up a stack of those this season, but that was the end of the scoring, and their loyal Cardiff, great travelling support, well, they're cheering. Dundee 1, Cardiff 3. So to the second game in as many nights. It's their 3-day road trip, of course, but this one, the second one, against the Fife Flyers for the Cardiff Devils. And they were moving the puck around nicely here. They certainly get the chance in front of the net, and a neat move by McRae, a 14th of the season, 15:07, sees the visitors in front. Now, Hartmanis bangs into Lyle. That seems to rile the Cardiff Devils. First of all, you see a slashing penalty on Kempton Smith. That's called by the referee, Dean Smith. So he then takes a misconduct, obviously for something he said. So it seems to be dying down, but then you see from Kempton Smith's reaction, something else is going on. He's going towards the box, and suddenly he reacts. There's a free-for-all over by the benches there. But what's happened is Chris Frank has left the bench to get involved in this fracas, so he ends up with a penalty as well when he gets thrown out the game. 2 minutes for leaving the bench, and the game misconduct for leaving the bench, so Frank will play no more part in this game. So the Cardiff Devils lose one of their imports. This falls nicely for the breakaway for Matska. Lovely finish, short-handed as well. Van der Vieken with the assist, a 15th of the year for Matska. So Cardiff lead by 2-0. Empty net situation, Dobbin with an 11th of the year. That's 3-0 and game over. You'd be forgiven for thinking that's the end of the action and I've got nothing more to say. Well, how wrong would you be? So that's 3-0. Power play time as the period is coming to a close, the game coming to a close. Carl Horn scores a consolation. That's 3-1. Now maybe you're thinking there's goals, but no, it gets feisty. Look, a push on Richardson. That's checking to the head by Dutium, so he's going to get a major penalty for that and thrown out of what game is remaining at this stage. There's only 19 seconds to go, so Dutium gets the big penalty there. Looks like an injury as well. Richardson certainly not looking in a good way. So that one certainly has a bit of discussion going, and both sets of players are quite riled. And again, look, a bit of push and shove on the boards. Kenton Smith and Maxwell, then they start to go at it, and all sorts going on. A very feisty end to the game. Final score then, 3-1 to the Cardiff Devils. And I'm afraid due to technical difficulties, we can't bring you Cardiff's overtime win in Edinburgh. Scott Matska with the winning goal there with 1 second left in overtime.
Well, I've managed to track down Dave Simms. Kind of expected to find him in a bar, but didn't.
It's a little cold. I had to warm up, Anna.
I'm impressed. Dave, it was a good weekend to be a Devils fan, but not an easy weekend for them. Triple header.
Tough weekend. 3 games, 3 nights. We've talked about it before, and the Cardiff Devils came through with flying colours and short-handed as well. Always a tough place to go, Dundee. They came through that first game well, and once you've gone through that first game, you carry the momentum. In a 3-3, often it's the second night that kind of can screw you up a little bit. So to win in Fife the way they did, and you know, we're going to find out next week just what a tough barn Cardiff is. Really looking forward to going into Fife. It's a volatile place to go. They came through that, and then adrenaline gets you through that third game. I'll tell you what impressed me most though, in Edinburgh, with the offence that the Edinburgh Capitals had, the Cardiff Devils only conceded that 1 goal again. 3 goals in 3 nights. So the Cardiff Devils defence and Stevie Lyle is certainly doing their job.
Still, they landed back on Monday morning. They're playing again tonight, their 4th game in 6 days. How's that going to affect them, or will it at all?
Well, it'll affect you and me, but I don't know if it's going to affect them. These are fit lads, they're tough
Speak
guys.
for yourself.
Well, I don't do the gym very often, but you can see the guys here running around. They're fine. These are young lads in the prime of health, and they'd much rather play than practice. So I don't really think fatigue will be a problem. It'll only be a problem if they go 2 or 3 goals down early, and then it becomes a mind game. But if this game's competitive as we expect it to be tonight, I don't think fatigue will be an issue for Gerard's team. Still,
they're missing a couple of key players, Brad Voth and Max Brer, who we'll be hearing from later on in the show.
Not only are they missing 2 players, they're missing 2 key players. Voth and Brer are the symbol of the Cardiff Devils. When you come into this rink, it's about toughness, physicality, the size of those 2 guys in this very small ice pad that's just behind us. They kind of dictate the way the game is played here in Cardiff. So what's going to be the interesting thing tonight, Anna, is not how they cope, but how they play. How do the Cardiff Devils go about this game with the Sheffield Steelers? Because it's not going to be the same Cardiff Devils that we're used to seeing that we'll see today.
Well, we're going to be seeing a new player for the Sheffield Steelers tonight, Nick Duff.
Funny enough, no Brabia, no Voth, the 2 physical players for the Cardiff Devils, on the night that the Sheffield Steelers bring in a physical defenceman. Ryan Finnerty wants something a bit different. You know, in the defenceman he's got at the moment, he hasn't really got that knockdown defenceman, that tough guy, the guy that will add that physicality at the back end. He's brought Duff in, he makes his debut tonight. This is the kind of barn that perhaps Finnerty brought him into playing.
Well, we'll see how he gets on later on in the show in the game here tonight. But time now to get some more action. And another team that were playing 3 games in 3 nights were Coventry. And they could argue they had one of the toughest schedules going, with 2 of those games being in Belfast. Well, let's see how they got on, and a couple more games for you. Here's Chris Ellis.
The first of 2 matches between Belfast and Coventry in the Odyssey Arena. The last time the Blades went into Northern Ireland, they shut the Belfast Giants out by 3-0, and they took the lead in the first period here. 6:31 gone, a power play goal for Matties Crow, Fussy and Weaver with the assists. But at the other end, the Belfast Giants, who welcome back Paul Dennison into the lineup, the Belfast Giants favourite, Well, the guy that levelled a new Odyssey favourite, Robert Dowd, 14-18 gone, 1-1, a power play goal. Back came Coventry though. Shea Guthrie got the 20th goal of an excellent season for him. Domage and Soderstrom back in the lineup. He getting the assist as well. That at 16-48. Again, back came Belfast. Robert Dowd, who else? A 15th of the year for him. 18 minutes gone. We're totally tied up at 2. Into the second, and John Pele scores. Weaver in the box for holding. Crane and Dowd getting the assist, so Dowd having a hand in the first 3 goals. Pele with the goal on the power play. It's 3-2. Dowd got the assist on the next goal. Him and Garside setting up Clark in the third period. 48-34. It's 4-2. So, could the Coventry Blaze come back? They did. Robert Farmer, a 17th of the year, 57-22. We've got an exciting finish. Timeout for the Coventry Blaze, but it didn't work. Ryan Keefe into an empty net, a 7th of the season for him, and we do see breathing space once more for the Belfast Giants. And time had run out sadly for the Blaze. For them, end of the game, final score, Belfast Giants 5, Coventry Blaze 3. Plenty of drama on Friday night. What would Saturday night bring? Well, this time a lead for the Belfast Giants. Lloyd with his 15th of the season on the power play at 9:44. Dowd and Mason getting the assist. And then, under 2 minutes later, Jeremy Rebeck's 9th of the year, Garside with an assist, and who else but Dowd? 2-0 to the Belfast Giants. Then, 24 seconds later, Dowd scores himself, a 16th of the year. It's 3-0 to the Belfast Giants. 19 seconds later, it was 3-1. McLean with his 5th of the year. 12-16 gone in the game. It's 3-1. Then Shea Guthrie at 14:30, short-handed as well. Owen and Jernick getting the assist. 21 of the year for Guthrie. It's 3-2 now. It was 3-3 on the power play. It's 18:41. Fuss's 24th of the season. We're tied at 3-3 into the third. And who else but Robert Dowd has a hand in the goal. Final score in a close one. It was the Belfast Giants 4, the Coventry Blaze 3. An important game near the bottom of the table for both sides. They're looking to fend off the attentions of Dundee and of Fife as they look to stay in the playoff places. First good chance fell to Campbell, but he was denied there by Nathan Craze. And look, power play time now for Edinburgh. And what goes wrong here? It's a terrible line change, getting right into confusion. And who's going to take advantage but player coach Sylvain Cloutier? He enjoys that one. Stick is raised high. Absolutely mobbed by his teammates. 1-0 to the home side. Tendler and Pease getting the assist on the sure-handed goal at 7 minutes and 4 seconds. Again, a giveaway by Edinburgh. It's going to come to Andre, who scores his first goal by the aid of deflection. Osman and Cloutier getting the assist. 22:07. As I say, a first goal in Hull colours for Andre. Edinburgh really defensively were all over the show, and they had to rely on Nathan Craze, who made some good saves amongst the 33 shots he faced. But finally, Edinburgh got motoring. A chance out in front there for them for Menton, but that was denied by Boucher. 33 shots each the netminders had. Certainly chances going in, and more in favour of the Hull Stingrays. Again, the denied shot there. 2 players in front of the net. Campbell once more involved, just trying to get his stick to it, but couldn't do so. So once more, it was Nathan Craze who was keeping the scoreline down. But sloppy work once more, give away by the Caps into the offensive zone comes McKinney, and he is denied again by Nathan Craze, who certainly is having a really good game in the Edinburgh net. But he could do nothing about this one. Into the offensive zone come the home side, and McKinney and Cloutier get the assist on Tendler's 27th of the season. Final score, Hull Stingrays 3, Edinburgh 0.
Dave, just a quick word on those games we've just seen there. A good couple of wins in Belfast and, of course, that win for Hull. I mean, they needed that win, didn't they?
Start off with the Belfast Giants. They had to win both those games against the Coventry Blaze to keep the pressure on Nottingham and on Sheffield, and they did the job. They found a way to win. Both games could have gone either way. You'll recall last week, at the end of the show, we said that Hull-Edinburgh game could be the game of the weekend. How were the Hull Stingrays going to bounce back after that shocking performance against Braehead? The good news is they did. They bounced back and bounced back well. They shut out the Capitals, which is a tough thing to do with their firepower, and they did it with no import defencemen as well. So the Hull Stingrays learnt how to win. They found a way to win, and that's the one thing that they've struggled with all year.
Okay, well, time now to take a break, but don't go anywhere as we've got plenty more action from the Challenge Cup semi-final. Dave will be talking to Gerard Adams, the Cardiff Devils player coach, and of course I will be talking to Max Mavrea following his recent operation.
Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports. Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports.
Welcome back to the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League highlight show here on Sky Sports. This week we're in Cardiff.
Now the Devils are still in the hunt for the Challenge Cup. Last weekend, one of the finalists were decided though when the Nottingham Panthers met the Braehead Clan.
These two sides met in a two-legged encounter last season. They had a thrilling playoff quarter-final. Nottingham eventually winning through to finals weekend and, of course, going on to win the playoffs. This then the Challenge Cup semi-final first leg. It doubled up as a league encounter. Jade Galbraith coming away from his former teammate Stephen Lee. Round the back, wrap around, 1-0 Braehead Clan. 18-15 gone. Lovely goal. Biggest crowd in Braehead's history. What a great crowd to see. Anyway, second period action. All sorts going on. The power play here. Shot there from Bannister. Denied. That after a chance for Jorgensen. Then a bit of push and shove. Nearly 3,000 in the Braehead Arena. All sorts going on in front of the net. Phillips can't clear. Who's there? It's David Clark. Don't leave him alone in front of the net. Panthers travelling supporters celebrating. 1-1, 1:44 into the third session. Nottingham have the levelling goal. Now out in front for Francis. Nielsen and Lakovic with the assist. 2 goals in just over a minute. It's 2-1 Nottingham. But wait, rebound given away. Bannister scores. 51-25, a 6th of the season for Bannister. We're tied at 2. Power play action now in the third session. McPherson exchanges passes with Bannister. Oh, lovely into the top of the net. And McPherson scores a 24th of the season. It's the league points for the Clan and a 1-goal advantage in the cup tie. Braehead 3, Nottingham 2. So a 1-goal lead for Braehead going into the second leg, but that was soon eaten away by Nottingham. Fox down the right-hand side, inside for Beauregard, back for Benedict. Fox, high slot, shoots and scores. 72 seconds gone, a 17th of the season. Nottingham were level on aggregate 3-3 and 1-0 ahead on the night. Nottingham dominated much of the opening session. They outshot the Clan. Chance for Francis there. Then a few players getting involved in a bit of push and shove. Never real boiled over, did it? But there was some pushing and shoving from both sides. So 1-0 Nottingham in the opening stages. Fox face-off win here. Myers for Beauregard. Behind the net for Benedict, and Benedict just waits, gives it back to Beauregard. Beauregard holds on, out in front, Lapine, tip from Fox. 2-0 Nottingham at 9:15. 4-3 on aggregate on the night. It's 2-0 as I say, so Nottingham in the ascendancy. Into the second session, lovely pass from man of the match Francis, and Benedict one-on-one, short-handed, scores. Nottingham 5-3 up at 36-17. They win on the night 3-0 and on aggregate 5-3, and will face Belfast or Cardiff in the Challenge Cup final.
2 great games between the Braehead Clan and the Nottingham Panthers. 2 lots of congratulations as well. Firstly to Kirsty Longmuir. Almost 3,000 people in the Braehead Arena on Saturday, their largest ever crowd. Second lot of congratulations to the Nottingham Panthers. They've made it through to the Challenge Cup final. Now, one man hoping to make it through to the final to play the Panthers is Gerard Adams, the coach of the Cardiff Devils. A tough semi-final series against the Belfast Giants to come, Jay.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an extremely hard game, especially with the numbers we have and the numbers they have. But it's good preparation, our game against Sheffield tonight, and we're really happy we got that first leg against them at home.
Okay, the Sheffield Steelers come in here. It's one of their games in hand, and they face a Cardiff Devils team a little bit injury prone right now. No Voth, no Brabir.
Yeah, I think, obviously we're down in numbers, but I think we're a little bit dangerous at times too, just because teams might be taking us a little bit lightly. And, Sheffield does have all these games in hand, but they need to win the games in hand to get up with the top teams. I think there's a lot of pressure over there, and there's no pressure where we are. Coming
into Cardiff, it's normally aggression, it's normally physicality, that big size, that big presence. But when you take Brabir and Voth out of your lineup, what does that leave the Cardiff Devils with tonight?
A different game plan? No, we have to alter it to who we have. Obviously, we need to be a little bit, we're still going to be aggressive, but we can't be quite finishing our checks the way that Brad and Max do. But we have to alter our game and just kind of have better angles. Keep all the pucks on the outside of the ice, and Stevie Lyle has to be the best player in hockey on the ice for us tonight.
I can't quite understand the Max Brabir one. Is he an unlucky player or a very lucky man?
I think he's a very lucky man. He complained of these symptoms a few days after the game, and our doctors were a little bit of alarmed. And I can't say enough about the Vale Healthcare and how they've taken care of us. And they spotted it on an MRI, and if he would have taken another check, there was a good chance that he would have sustained a nightmare injury that a hockey player never, ever wants to see. But he had the surgery Monday. The doctors were very happy with the way the operation went, and they have documentation letters from rugby players that they've done that they can get him back playing full contact in 4 months.
Okay, well, good luck tonight. We wish you well. And also, we wish Max Brabir well. As Jared just said, he had an operation on Monday, so what better for him in his preparation to send Nurse Woolhouse to check up on him and see how he was getting on.
Max Brabir has been a key member of the Cardiff Devils for a number of years, but not for the rest of the season following surgery on his neck. It's a huge blow for the Cardiff Devils, but even more so for Max. So I've decided to come down to his house armed with balloons, grapes, chocolates, the whole works to see how he's getting on. Now back at home after a few nights at University Hospital, the Kazakhstan native is back home under strict instructions to rest and do nothing other than eat grapes and watch TV and perhaps make us the odd cup of tea. Max, firstly, only a couple of days after your operation, I've got to ask, how are you feeling and how did it go?
I'm feeling surprisingly good, much better than what I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to be bedridden for a couple of weeks, but I even be able to make you a cup of tea and coffee today, so surprisingly much better than what I thought it was going to be. The operation, apparently, according to the doctors, went great. They were happy and pleased with the work that they've done and the way it all played out, so so far so good.
So for those that don't know what happened, just explain why you had to have the operation.
Well, it was a bit the bizarre situation where I was out with my groin and had a little extra time to find out about my other knocks, and doctors did a bit of a check-in and sent me for MRI, which revealed not good news at all. It was a faulty disc that was pressing on my spinal cord, which potentially could have sent me to the wheelchair, and thanks to the doctors and the team, they quickly diagnosed it and did something about it.
How long have they said you'll be out for?
Well, originally I thought, I panicked and I thought that was it, career's over. But after meeting with the doctors, they gave me hope and they said, don't worry, everything's going to be fine. So they said 4 months and I'll be able to participate in real contact and be back. They asked me to rest for a few weeks and then I'm going to start light exercise and then just go as normal as my normal workouts in about a month or two. They've asked me to come on the bench, help to run the bench, and I'm going to maybe cut some videos and go on the road trips and be an extra pair of eyes, and hopefully we'll win something by the end of the season, and I would like to be a part of it.
So they have said you are out for 4 months, but is there any doubt at all in the back of your mind that you think just maybe I could be there playing in the playoffs?
Well, the way I'm feeling 2 days after surgery, it's definitely a feeling where, I'll be ready to play in a couple of weeks, but I've been asked that question before, and then when I think about it, it's probably a bit different if it was, let's say, a knee surgery, where I would take a chance, and, if I was ahead of schedule rehabbing, and I would come back, and I would take a chance, but in terms of my spine, realistically, I don't think I would take that chance.
So the Devils as a team, they've had their fair share of injuries, but that aside, there's plenty still to play for, isn't there?
There's, even before I was injured, we were kind of, getting on the right path there and getting a few wins. Guys just came back from road trip, won three games away. Devils are making all they can. I mean, they try to sign guys and they bring replacements, so the organization shows that they are committed. They want to win trophies. Perhaps we're a little bit back now on the championship, winning the league trail, but we still have a couple of trophies to play for, and that's exciting. And that's part of why I just want to get off the couch kind of and be part of it.
Well, we look forward to seeing you on the ice next season, and of course we wish you a speedy recovery, and I know Dave sends his regards, and I'm sure he'll want to shop.
Oh, thank you very much. Too bad I couldn't see Dave. It would have been lovely to see him.
Time for some more action and to the Motorpoint Arena, where the Sheffield Steelers took on the Dundee Stars. Here's Chris Ellis.
Two sides looking up in the table, but for very different reasons. The Sheffield Steelers closing in on second spot, and on the leaders, Belfast Giants. They are right up there. And the Dundee Stars, well, they're looking for 8th position and a place in the end-of-season playoffs in the quarter-finals. Le Gui involved here, and look, he gets a second chance in the high slot, and the Steelers take the lead. You perhaps don't see it from that angle, but Colt King gets the final touch of 14th of the season. Ramsey with the other assist, but Le Gui shot the touch just in front of the net. Is King making a nuisance of himself? 1-0 to the home side. Now watch this goal. One end of the ring to the other. Foljam, the former Coventry man, comes into the offensive zone and scores. No one challenges him. Coast to coast. 21 of the season. 21:37 time of the goal. But where were the challenges from the Dundee Stars? He comes into the offensive zone and he makes it 2-0. So Sheffield at this stage well in control at the start of the second, and you thought maybe they'd run up the scoreboard and really take it to the Dundee Stars, but the Stars came back into the game. 33-43, McGough and Mitchell, they're the ones who make this creation, and in front of the net is Hutchins, a 14th of the season. He just gets to it before De Caro. It's 2-1, it's a one-goal game with around 6 minutes to go in the second session. So which way was this one going to go? Into the offensive zone come the Steelers now. Who's in the slot? It's Foljam, set up by Felix and Trudel, and the time of that one, 43-48. The Sheffield Steelers get another 2 points in the league, and the bandwagon rolls on as they look to secure back-to-back Elite League titles. Final score, Sheffield 3, Dundee Stars 1. A third game in 3 nights for the Coventry Blaze. They return to Coventry on Sunday morning after successive losses to the Belfast Giants on Friday and Saturday. But if they were tired, they didn't show it early on. First goal of the night, delayed penalty. Owen in 11th of the season. Cowley and Jernick getting the assist. 1-0 Coventry, 5 minutes and 12 seconds into the game. An immediate response, though, coming with inside a minute and a half, basically. Campbell coming forward into the offensive zone, reaches his pass to Tenderler. The save is made by Hirsch, but he cannot get to the puck. But it can be got to by Campbell, driving the net. 1-1. We're all square at 6:55. Which way was this game going to go next? Well, Coventry pushing forward, and Rodin gives it away, and that enables the goal to be scored by Fussy. 25 of the year for him. Kral and Weaver getting the assist. It is 2-1. So Coventry at one end trying to go towards the net, all sorts of scrambles and near misses. Is that one in? It's not going to be a goal. Coventry is celebrating, but it's chalked off. We're not going to see the celebrations continue. Farmer and Phillips are going to be denied. Now Hall coming forward into the offensive zone. It's great stick handling skills there. That's a great move. Andre gets his second goal. Just after getting his first goal the previous night, he gets his second goal for the club. Campbell and McKinney with the assist. That's a lovely finish over the glove there of Boucher by Guthrie. 22nd of the season. Farmer and Soderstrom getting the assist at 29-20. We see it 3-2 to the Coventry Blaze. Plenty of momentum now, and on the power play in the high slot is Weaver, and you can see how well they move it around. They deserve that goal for the movement. Owen, a 12th of the season, at 36-42. So now the Coventry Blades well in control. Into the third session, and we see more movement in front of the net, and it's Weaver. Weaver with the final touch, his second of the season now, and that goal coming at 50 minutes and 56 seconds. Final score, Coventry 5, Hull 2.
Well, the players are on the ice warming up ahead of tonight's game, but time now to take a break. But make sure you stay with us, as coming up we'll see how the Devils get on when they face the Sheffield Steelers.
Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports. Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports.
Welcome back to the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League highlight show here on Sky Sports. Now we're moments away from face-off here in Cardiff, where the Devils are taking on the Sheffield Steelers. But there's one thing I have to do before the game can take place, and that's of course asking you, Dave, your prediction ahead of tonight's game. I think I know which way it's going to go.
Well, I am going to go for the Sheffield Steelers, Anna, but I'll tell you for why. No Voth, no Brabia, in Cardiff, this building was built for Brabia and for Brad Voth, and I just wonder whether they'll have enough firepower, enough physicality to really take it to the Sheffield Steelers. If the Steelers can get out of the first period level or better, I think they'll go on to win the game.
Well, let's see if the Devils can prove Dave wrong. Here's Chris Ellis.
A big game at the Big Blue Tent, and I'm sure Nottingham and Sheffield would have kept more than a passing eye on proceedings. First good chance of the game, Finnerty in the slot. Oh, the rebound loops up as the defenseman tries to clear, and then all sorts of players go in. Fulgham was one of them, just trying to drive towards the net. Then it became a succession of penalties in the first period. Look, Pearce making a real nuisance of himself. One end of the ice, one side, then to the other. And it was going to be Jonathan Phillips called for hooking. It wasn't going to be the first Steelers player in the box in that period. So power play time then for the home side. Davis is the man who went into the offensive zone. Davis had the shot right side, and first to the rebound is Mark Richardson, a 7th of the season, but well worked from the youngster Davis. The other assist going to Smith, and we see the home side ahead. Their fans are happy, they're celebrating, and you can see the way Richardson is first to react to the rebound. 1-0 Cardiff, and we are playing first period action. Celebrations for the home side in the Big Blue Tent. So, plenty of penalties, as I said. That one already had seen Finnerty in the box, so Tate now going for tripping at 15:57. That's the time of that one. Pearce once more making a nuisance of himself, and this time look where he goes in. Kieran O'Halloran just ushering him into the box. Look, there's not much room in there. I certainly wouldn't fit in there. 16:11 the time of that one. The penalty box was getting really busy, but all this power play time, and Cardiff just tried to work the puck into the net. No real shots, no one-timers. You can see them move it around. It's nice movement with the extra skaters. There's plenty of room on the ice in the Big Blue Tent with 2 extra skaters. Not perhaps the size of a big arena ring, but still room. And you can see great defensive work by the Sheffield Steelers, and that keeps the score at only 1-0. Now, Davis once more into the offensive zone. He was at the heart of so much that the home side did, and the goal there was from Sam Smith, a 7th of the season. Great movement from them, great British play from the two of them. Davis into the offensive zone, drops it off for Smith. Maybe DeCaro will want it back. He got a piece of it, didn't he? 2-0 then on the power play. 18:33 gone. We see a 2-goal advantage for the home side. So there is an incident behind the net. Hewitt goes in and misses a hit, really. So he goes to fight Batch. He's a big lad, the number 41 Batch, and Batch, you can see, wins this fight against Hewitt. It's a good fight, but Batch, with those rights, certainly gets the better of it. So Hewitt gets that extra penalty for the slash, so it's power play time again for the Cardiff Devils. And then you'll see the puck is just dumped into the corner. Oh, it's loose in front of the net because Ashley Tate brings it out in front, and Cole King scores on selfish play. Tate could have done the wraparound. Lyle was caught out of position, and Tate makes a very clever play to Cole King, who takes full advantage. And we see it's a 2-1 game. very much game alive. A chance there for King. He's denied. Another chance for King. Certainly chances going in. Legree, it's cleared off the line. That could have been 2-2, but no, it stays at a one-goal game. Now Dobbin into the offensive zone is the shot. And you probably heard the cling against the pipes. Dobbin hits the pipes, so it stays at 2-1. Now, it's a one-goal game. It could be anyone's game. Legree is tripped by Batch, so the Sheffield Steelers are going on the power play. One of 4 they'd had all night. Legree with the work there. It needed to count, and it does. The Sheffield Steelers level. It is Cole King again, a second of the game. He tips in Burnstill's shot. Oh, there we go, 2-2. The comeback kings, the Sheffield Steelers. Doesn't seem to matter what bond they're in. They can come back and they can tie the game no matter the situation. Mark Thomas there. He is the man that puts his body on the line. Breakaway, Finity, who had come out of the box. More penalty trouble for Sheffield in overtime, but he was denied there. But not this time. Look, Finity works the play into the corner. It's picked up by Huttle. Huttle then gives it to Legree. He steps inside. Lovely move on the netminder. And the Sheffield Steelers have won in overtime. They come back again from behind. A brave effort from the Cardiff Devils without Brad Voth and Max Beerbraer. Get well soon, Max Beerbraer, after his neck injury. But what a performance from the Steelers. The overtime winner from Legree. Cardiff 2, Sheffield 3.
How satisfying a win was that?
I think after what everybody saw out there, to get a win in here was seemed like it was never going to happen. But we plugged away, and a lot of character shown by my guys, and we got a pretty happy room right now, and we deserve it. I think after what we went through, it was pretty emotional. Wasn't easy to get the win, but we grinded out and found a way to win.
How many 5-on-3s did Cardiff have, and what happened in that first period especially? Every game it's different. I mean, if it was across the board, we knew what we were getting each night, then fine. But every game is different. I don't know. I think they had 4 or 5-on-3s. I think they had 7. I lost track of how many. 7, 8, 5-on-3s all game. It's frustrating. It's frustrating for us. It's got to be frustrating for the fans to watch. There's no flow, and you know what? But we stuck with it. Obviously, it wasn't the way we wanted to. We don't like taking penalties. We don't take those penalties normally. We seem to do it against one official a lot. The guy tonight, so be it. But we move on, and we got the 2 points, and that's what we came for. Just frustrating the way that the game went. I think it should have been a much better game for fans and for players to play. You must be proud of your team, Gia. Valuable point.
Yeah, no, I thought we outplayed them for the most better part of the game. The only time we really had broke down is when we got a little bit of fatigue set in. That's just human nature in our league. I think it was 4 games and 6 nights, and I'm hammering the ice time on a lot of guys, and that was the only time I thought they had opportunities when fatigue set in. For the most part, I thought we were the better team.
Spoke to Ryan Finity. He's questioned a lot of the referees' calls. He's got away with the win, but how did you see it, especially in that first period?
I think we should stop complaining about the refs. It's when you get the calls, you got to take advantage of it, and when you don't get the calls, you have to battle through. So it goes on night in, night out with the team. So I think maybe it's best we lay off these guys.
Yeah, your line tonight, you moved up front. You had the 2 young pups alongside you. I thought they were outstanding. They worked so hard, didn't they?
No, our kids are progressing quite well. We've been carrying these kids for a couple of years, and now they're getting forced in the ice time. I think we're ahead of a lot of the teams on our local talent, and I think that's going to carry through for the next few years.
Talk to me now about from here in now for the rest of the season. Aims for the Cardiff Devils. What do you see as a good finishing point for you?
Well, I think a Challenge Cup final berth would be great, and to get through to Belfast. I think a top 4 finish is realistic for us, and obviously get to that playoff weekend when anything can happen. But if we continue to perform the way we are, I'm happy with it.
So the 4th game proved too much for the Devils, and the Steelers continue their charge towards the top of the table. Join us after the break for more reaction and the last of the action from the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League.
Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports. Sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports.
Hello and welcome back to the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League highlight show here on Sky Sports, where we've just seen the Sheffield Steelers take an overtime victory over the Cardiff Devils. And Dave, before we get into the ins and outs of the game, I just have to say one thing. That was a cracking game of hockey.
Anna, that was the Elite Ice Hockey League at its very best. That game had everything, didn't it? Huge hits, great emotion, raw passion, power play goals, massive penalty kills, especially from the Sheffield Steelers there, led by the two old warriors, Finnerty and Jared Adams. They get in on a little bit, and they led by example, didn't they? Nothing asked, nothing given. I have to tell you, every single fan in this building, from you, from I, went home entertained. Sure, some went home happier than others, but every single person in this building went home entertained. A great night.
Definitely so. Now, we said it in the top of the show that the Cardiff Devils, they needed to come out fighting, and they did just that in the first period. They owned it, and there are a couple of big imports down as well.
Always going to be interesting, wasn't it, how the Cardiff Devils approached this game without the presence and the physicality of a Babia and a Voth. Well, their game plan was pretty simple. Outwork the Sheffield Steelers. They did in the opening couple of minutes. They drew some penalties. Sheffield then got frustrated. They took even more penalties, and then those Cardiff Devils had power play after power play after power play, and Sheffield were perhaps lucky to still be in this game at the end of the first session, because it could have been a lot worse than two.
Still so many positive for Cardiff to take away for tonight. But the Sheffield Steelers, what does this win mean for them? Surely this is, really good things for them.
Well, before we talk about the Sheffield Steelers, Burrows, Davies and Adams, that third unit for the Cardiff Devils, there was a positive. Those two young pups, Davies and Burrows, they worked their backside off for the whole night. For the Sheffield Steelers, they found a way to win. It's what championship teams do. We spoke about Belfast finding a way, beating Coventry back-to-back Friday, Saturday. Sheffield found a win. Doug Christensen had been watching that game on his computer screen, thinking the Cardiff Devils were there, and the Sheffield Steelers found a way to spoil Doug's night.
They certainly did. Okay, well, time now to get the last little bit of action for you. Here's Chris Ellis.
Brayhead Clans still have their sights on fourth place, and the Five Flyers are looking for a playoff place. Both have a bit of ground to make up to do that, so an important game for different reasons. The home side went ahead, the only goal of the first period coming at 17:54. Drew Bannister, short-handed, McPherson and Campbell getting the assist. Into the second session, 8 minutes and 36 in, Tom Hart-Manis, the former Newcastle man, a sixth of the year, player coach Dutium and former Newcastle player coach Danny Stewart getting the assist, with tied at 1-1. The visitors then went ahead. Maxwell with his first goal for the club, Seaman and Backwood getting the assist. 32-02, it's 2-1 to the Five Flyers. Back came the home side at 36-29. Kristanovic getting goal number 21 of the year. Galbraith and Jorgensen getting the assist. So we're tied at 2-2 after 2. Into the third session, Hart-Manis scores to give Fife the go-ahead goal. 44-23, a seventh of the year for him. We are ahead in the Five Flyers camp. Then Dennis Caddick, a first of the year, a first goal for the new boy. Horn and Hart-Manis getting the assists. 48-08, power play goal. 4-2 to Five Flyers. Then Galbraith scores a power play goal for Brayhead at 52-28, a 19th of the year. It's a 4-3 game, it's a one-goal game. Which way is it going? Brayhead pull the netminder, but Fife hold on for only their second away win of the season.
So here's confirmation of the results from all the games we've seen tonight. On Friday, there were wins for the Belfast Giants and the Cardiff Devils. The same can be said for Saturday, where there are also wins for Brayhead over Nottingham and for Hull over Edinburgh. On Sunday, Nottingham got revenge over the Clan, beating them at the NIC and progressing through to the Challenge Cup final. Cardiff completed their Scottish adventure with a win in Edinburgh. Coventry beat Hull, and the Sheffield Steelers won 3-1 over the Dundee Stars. And in the midweek games, the Steelers beat the Devils in our game here in Cardiff. A great win for Fife also in Brayhead. All that means the league table looks like this going into the weekend. Belfast remain top, Nottingham in second and Sheffield still in third. They have 5 games in hand on both the Panthers and the Giants, with 7 points a cushion for Belfast. Coventry remain ahead of Cardiff, with Brayhead another 5 points behind in 6th. Still pretty tight between the Caps and the Stingrays, and then there is a little gap between them and Dundee and Fife, but still time for either of those teams to put on a run at playoff spots.
Let's take a look at the fixtures coming your way this weekend. On Saturday, a huge game at the top of the table as Nottingham travel to Belfast. Important game for the Dundee Stars as they travel to Hull. Fife welcome Coventry to the Fife Ice Arena, and a tough game for the Cardiff Devils as they go to Braehead. On Sunday, Braehead go to Coventry, Sheffield travel to Dundee, Edinburgh entertain Hull, and the Nottingham Panthers are at home to the Fife Flyers. One midweek game for you, and it's a cracker as the Belfast Giants come here to Cardiff for the Challenge Cup semi-final. Remember, the Belfast Giants are unbeaten here in Cardiff so far this season.
Well, Dave, it looks like this weekend coming could be a biggie in terms of the league, whether it's that title race, the race of the playoffs, or that all-important fourth spot.
Anna, this is the business end of the year, whether you're at the top, the middle, or the bottom. Shall we start off at the Odyssey Arena? What a game that's going to be between the Belfast Giants and the Nottingham Panthers. I have to say, perhaps a bigger game for Corey Nielsen and the Panthers than it is for Doug Christensen and the Giants. If the Giants can win that, it could be a little bit of nail in the coffin of the Nottingham Panthers' title aspirations. Let's go down then to the bottom. 2-3 weeks ago, it looked like Hull and Dundee were nailed on to make the playoffs. But now, with Fife winning, as they have done against the Braehead clan, they're now within a shot of the Dundee Stars and the Hull Stingrays. So when those two teams meet, any points that they can get, most valuable. Hull have got to start putting a string of results together. They can't finish 8th. They're a better team than that.
And of course, our next stop's going to be Fife. What can we expect from that? I'm excited.
Well, you should be excited. I think the Five Flyers have got a birthday celebration all planned for you. But what you can expect is raw emotion and passion, a little bit like what we've seen here tonight, because the Cardiff faithful will be getting behind their team, especially after their recent run of results. It'll be full in there. It'll be cold. It'll be old school, which is what I personally like. And I'm expecting great things from the Five Flyers. I really think the Five Flyers could give the playoffs a real good run.
I've heard a rumour, Dave, as well. I've heard that you're going to be wearing a kilt. Is that true?
Not at all. It's going to be the weekend after in Dundee.
Is that right?
I lost a bet in Dundee and I'm going to have to wear a skirt up in Dundee.
Oh gosh, we'll all be scarred for that one.
It won't be good.
Well, you can see all the action right here on Sky Sports. Well, you can see next week's show on Friday the 27th of January on Sky Sports 4 at 8 p.m. Make sure you join us and keep up to date with all the latest from the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League. Well, that's just about all we've got time for tonight. All that's left to say from Dave and myself is thank you for watching. We're next going to be in Fife.
And we can't wait. And if you're in Kirkcaldy, come and join us. It's going to be a great night between the Flyers and the Blaze.
We'll see you then. Good night.
Rapid Solicitors, sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports. Accident compensation and medical negligence claims.